George Orwell's 1984. Main character Winston Smith is part of the ruling party in the City of London in the fictional nation Oceania. Winston, like all in Oceania, is subjected to being watched by Big Brother. Big Brother is the term used to describe the ruling party's surveillance in which they watch everything Winston does through television screens. The ruling party has also implemented a new language they created, Newspeak, which has removed all words that describe political rebellion. In Oceania, simply having rebellious thoughts is illegal, and this thought crime is considered the worst of all crimes. Winston is frustrated by the oppression and restriction his party places on him, prohibiting things such as free thought, sex, and expression of individuality. Winston has begun eyeing one of the leaders in the party, O'Brien, who he believes is a secret member of the Brotherhood who are working to overthrow the party. Winston's job in the party is in the Ministry of Truth, in which they edit the historical records to the needs of the party. At work, he notices an attractive dark-haired girl who is always looking at him. He believes she may be an informant who will turn him in for his thought crime. The party has recently been lying about being always allied with East Asia in an ongoing war, and this has bothered Winston. His knowledge of the party's lies makes him question the party when they tell the nation that Emmanuel Goldstein, the alleged leader of the Brotherhood, is the most dangerous man in society. At night, Winston likes to walk through the poorest neighborhoods in London and envy the proles who remain relatively free from the party's surveillance. One day at work, Winston receives a note from the dark-haired girl named Julia saying, "I love you." The two begin a covert affair, always on the lookout for Big Brother. Winston is convinced that he is going to get caught for either the affair or his diary. However, Julia is more optimistic. As the two grow closer, Winston's hatred for the party grows. Eventually, Winston gets the message he had been waiting for. O'Brien wants to meet with him. Winston and Julia visit O'Brien at his luxurious apartment. O'Brien is a member of the inner party, which allows him an extravagant lifestyle, while Winston is part of the outer party. O'Brien then reveals to them that he is in fact a member of the Brotherhood and welcomes the two of them in the fight. He then gives them a copy of Emmanuel Goldstein's manifesto of the Brotherhood. Winston and Julia go back to their apartment where Winston reads the manifesto to her. As they are reading it, armed soldiers barge in and seize them. Mr. Charrington, the owner of the store Winston bought the diary at, is secretly a part of the Thought Police and turned them in. The police separate Winston from Julia and take him to a place called the Ministry of Love. Winston suddenly learns that O'Brien is a party spy who pretended to be a part of the Brotherhood to catch Winston in a rebellious act. O'Brien spends the next few months torturing Winston. Then one day he brings him to room 101, where he is told he will face his greatest fear, rats. O'Brien begins to lower down a cage of rats that will eat Winston's face. As they begin to lower over Winston, he cries out to stop and to do it to Julia instead. This is what O'Brien was looking for all along. He stops the cage and takes the broken Winston, who has given up on Julia, back into society. When Winston sees Julia, he has no interest in her anymore. Winston returns to work with an undying loyalty to the party and Big Brother. Please like and
The 2-minute set begin. Goldstein's face flashes on the screen. The room erupts into frenzy. Everyone filled with hatred, but Winston, despite himself, feels the anger take over.
I don't want to join them. It's too much for me. The anger, the hate, it consumes me.
This is the party's power, Winston. You will obey. You will hate as the party wills.
You feel it, don't you? The power to control, the rage, it's everywhere. Dead to Goldstein, dead to Goldstein. Long live Big Brother, long live control has no limits. His reality is shattered.
I thought I could escape, but it's over. The party has won.
You cannot escape, Winston. Up. You will never be free. The party owns your mind.
Winston and Julia meet in secrets, defying the party's rule. For a brief moment, they taste freedom.
We can't stay like this. They will find us. But for now, we are free.
For once, I don't care. We'll be together even if it's just for a moment.
Palat!
Winston believed O'Brien was an ally, but he is about to discover the truth. Betrayal.
You were never with me. You are always loyal to the party.
You are never meant to win. The party controls everything, including you.
The party says it is. You belong to us now. Winston, you have no choice but to obey. The party decides what's real. Winston rewrites the history. The past no longer matters, only the party's truth exists.
History doesn't matter anymore. Only the party's version of it is true.
We erase the past. The truth is, whatever the party says it is.
The truth is gone. The past is completely rewritten. Let's see breakdown scene number 1 and let's understand the underlying legal maxim beneath. Expressio unius est exclusio alterus. The expression mention of one thing exclude others. Interpretation with respect to the statute. In 1984, the party creates a singular reality. Everything must align with the party's ideology. By focusing on hatred on Goldstein, the party establishes that no other feelings, thoughts, or realities matter. It's an example of controlling the narrative by excluding alternative views of or actions. Let's see the legal interpretation. Similarly, when interpreting statutes, the express mention of one thing in the statute may imply the exclusion of the other. For example, if a statute specifies one method of compliance, it might exclude other potential methods, thereby guiding how laws are applied.
Scene 2. Winston's arrest. Relevant legal maxim. Ubi lex non distinguit nec nos distinguere debemus. Where the law does not distinguish, neither should we. Interpretation with respect to the scene. Winston's arrest demonstrates the party's complete control over thought and action. Arresting him for thought crime without distinguishing intentions and actions. There is no room for individual interpretation or defense. Legal interpretation. In statutory law, this maxim suggests that when a law doesn't make distinctions, judges and officials should not introduce distinctions on their own. Just as Winston is punished without a clear reason or defense, laws are sometimes applied rigidly without personal judgment or leniency.
Now let's see scene 4, O'Brien's betrayal of Winston. The relevant legal maxim we'll be discussing right now is ignorantia juris non executat, which means ignorance of the law is no excuse. Interpretation with respect to the scene will bifurcate into two parts. I'll be dealing with first part and the second will be dealt by Ashish, my teammate. O'Brien's betrayal of Winston shows that even when Winston believes he is in the clear, thinking O'Brien shares his rebel beliefs, he is held accountable under the party's law. No excuses are made for him and ignorance is no defense.
The legal interpretation in this scene says, similarly in legal system, ignorance of law is not valid excuse of breaking it. In this case, Winston's unawareness of O'Brien's true loyalty does not exempt him from punishment of the party, just as individuals cannot claim ignorance of law in real life.
Now we'll discuss the last scene, the destruction of the past. The relevant legal maxim which we're discussing here is Ejusdem Generis, that means of the same kind or nature. The interpretation with respect to the scene is bifurcated again into two parts. The initial one, which I'll be talking with respect and context to the novel, that is 1984, and then I'll be discussing about the legal interpretation. The party constantly rewrites history, ensuring that the truth aligns with its current political agenda. By changing history, the party ensures that everything in the present fits into its manufactured narrative. Then I'll be discussing about the legal interpretation of the scene. In statutory interpretation, the Ejusdem Generis principle suggests that the law, where lists specific items followed by general terms, the general terms are interpreted to include things of the same kind as those listed. This mirrors how the party manipulates reality. History is modified to fit within the party's approved version of truth, so only facts that align with its agenda are considered legitimate.